In 1938, various skeletons were found in a hard-to-reach mountain cave in Byankara Ula, near Tibet. These skeletons dated back 12,000 years and were only 130 centimeters tall with fragile structures. Additionally, scientists discovered drawings of celestial bodies and strange creatures on the cave walls. 716 stone discs were found half buried in the cave floor. Each disc had a 2-centimeter diameter circular hole in the exact center. Detailed analyses revealed fine hieroglyph-like lines carved around this hole. Chinese professor Tsum Nui announced that he had deciphered the tiny hieroglyphic writings on the 12,000-year-old discs after 4 years of study. The professor titled his published article, "Report on Spaceships That Landed on Earth 12,000 Years Ago." According to the article, the writings on the discs told the story of the Drupa people from a distant planet who made a forced landing in the Himalayan mountains. The writings on the discs stated that the Drupa people could not repair their ship and therefore could not return to their planet. Surprisingly, even now, the people living in that region exhibit a truly unique human genotype. In fact, in a settlement known as the Village of Dwarfs in Sichuan province, approximately 120 dwarf-like individuals have been identified. Even more interestingly, these people recount that their ancestors were beings who once came from the sky. The mysterious Lovelock Cave, dating back thousands of years, is located in the Nevada region of America. This cave brought its millennia-old secrets to light through astonishing discoveries made in the early 1900s. When miners and archaeologists descended into the depths of the cave, they were virtually frozen by what they saw. Massive human remains were found, just like in the legends passed down by the Paiute tribe. Some remains reached up to 3 meters in height, and even red hair could be noticed on some. Among these findings were large sandals, seemingly custom-made for giant feet, and a clear giant handprint visible on a rock. The heavy burn marks at the cave's entrance seemed to tell of a horrific event that took place there thousands of years ago. The legend of the red-haired cannibalistic giants called Siteka gained a whole new dimension with these findings. According to the legend, these massive beings had come to these lands from across the ocean on rafts made of reeds. Lovelock Cave was one of their greatest sanctuaries. The depths of the cave had witnessed their terrifying rituals and daily lives. All the tribes in the region, fed up with the giants' endless attacks, decided to unite and resist them. Finally, according to the Paiute legend, the giants were cornered in their last refuge, Lovelock Cave. The tribes piled wood at the entrance of the cave and lit a massive fire. As the flames rose, the smoke and heat suffocated the giants inside the cave. In 1932, a small, mummified human body, found in a sitting position, was discovered in the San Pedro Mountains of Wyoming, USA. This mysterious entity became known to the public as Pedro the Dwarf. Pedro's body was approximately 35 to 40 centimeters tall. Although it looked like an infant at first glance, X-ray scans revealed that it was a fully developed adult. It was even claimed that undigested pieces of meat were found in its stomach. This suggested that Pedro might have been an individual who lived and fed consciously. Some scientists proposed that Pedro suffered from microcephaly, or a rare genetic disease related to dwarfism. However, the proportionate structure of its bones and the presence of signs of aging suggested that it harbored a mystery beyond known pathological examples. Pedro the Dwarf mysteriously disappeared after being exhibited for a period. Today, its whereabouts are unknown. The interesting part is that in the San Pedro Mountains, where Pedro was found, local legends about dwarf creatures are widely told among the populace. Some believe they are benevolent spirits, while others say they lure people lost in the woods into labyrinth-like places. This strange skull was found in the Rhodope Mountains of Bulgaria in 2001. Weighing no more than 250 grams, its most mysterious feature is the absence of a mouth. When the bones were examined, 6 larger and deeper cavities were found in the skull. It is thought that this creature may have had 6 eyes, which is a very rare condition in nature and has never been encountered in mammals. When the skull was examined under a microscope, it was determined to be much thinner and lighter than any bone tissue seen before. No evidence confirming the terrestrial origin of the skull, which was examined by scientists from various countries, could be found. In addition, the discovery of a metal piece of unknown origin near the skull raises question marks. The Sealand skull was discovered in 2007 during an excavation in Denmark. This mysterious skull was approximately 1.5 times larger than an average human skull. Since no other body parts were found, it remains unknown exactly what this being looked. Museu radiocarbon dating revealed that the owner of this skull lived around 1200 AD. One of the most striking aspects of the discovery was that the skull was unearthed alongside Stone Age axes, arrowheads, and pottery. The skull's large eye sockets and smooth structure suggest that its owner may have lived in a dark and cold environment. The Sealand skull is currently being kept under protection in a university laboratory in Denmark. The artifact has not yet been exhibited in a public museum. This mummy is said to have been caught by a fisherman in Tosa Bay between 1736 and 1741. According to claims, the fisherman sold the mummy to a temple, and it has been kept as an object of worship ever since. In Japan, mermaids are considered legendary creatures believed to bring immortality and good luck. Therefore, it is not surprising to find such objects in temples or private collections. In Japanese mythology, mermaids are generally known as ningyo. Ningyos are depicted as looking more like fish than humans, yet having human faces and sometimes human arms. This mummy aligns with traditional ningyo depictions. Scientists used CT scans and radiocarbon dating methods to examine the mummy's internal structure. Initial findings showed that the mummy was made of organic materials. Specifically, it was determined that the upper part of the body belonged to mammals and the lower part to fish. Official statements explain that this mummy was likely made from a monkey's head, arms, and upper body sewn onto a salmon's tail. They announced the production date of the mummy as the 18th century. Alternative researchers, on the other hand, suggest that this mummy is the fossilized remains of a truly existing species, and that scientists are trying to hide the truth. According to this theory, the scientific world is withholding findings from the public that would shatter humanity's thoughts on evolution and history. In 2014, strange remains were exhibited in Japan's Miyazaki prefecture. It was claimed that these parts belonged to a kappa shot by a river in 1818. Kappas are amphibious humanoid creatures that hold an important place in Japanese mythology. Meaning water child, a kappa is typically a creature about 1.5 meters tall, with scaly skin and usually blue or green in color. It has a turtle shell on its back, a beak, and a plate-like depression on top of its head that must always hold water. If it spills this water, it loses all its strength and can die within a very short time. If a human refills the plate on its head with water, the kappa remains loyal to that person for life, teaches them medical knowledge, or helps with fieldwork. A kappa's favorite food is cucumber. In the past, families in Japan would throw cucumbers with their names written on them into rivers to protect their children. This was an agreement meaning, eat this cucumber but do not touch our children. Additionally, kappas hate iron and loud noises, like fireworks. The kappa is perceived as a very malevolent and quite violent creature. Children are even warned to stay away from bodies of water for fear that a kappa will pull them in. Although kappa sightings are rare in modern times, cases are still reported in remote areas such as Fukuoka Prefecture. In fact, signs warning against kappas can still be found near waterbanks throughout Japan to this day. In the exhibited remains, the foot is approximately 8 centimeters long and the arm is 15 centimeters long. However, no independent DNA testing or scientific examination has ever been permitted on these remains. Scientists have stated that these were likely created by joining parts of different animals together. On July 13, 2008, a creature found on a beach in the Montauk area of New York became a massive mystery that captured the attention of both scientists and alternative researchers worldwide. The creature's carcass was discovered by 26-year-old Jenna Hewitt and 3 friends while they were walking on the beach. Although the creature initially appeared to be a raccoon, a dog, or a pig, it possessed distinct and unusual characteristics. Among its most striking features were a mouth structure that looked as if it had a beak and sharp, pointed teeth. After Hewitt and her friends photographed the carcass, the incident spread rapidly across the internet, and the creature was dubbed the Montauk Monster. The body was later taken away by someone and was never found again, further deepening the mystery. One of the most popular theories was that the Montauk Monster was the result of genetic experiments conducted at the Animal Disease Center located on Plum Island. It is known that research on diseases and biological agents is carried out at this facility. According to this theory, the monster was an escaped experiment. Another theory suggested that this creature was a hybrid being created through genetic engineering, believed to have emerged from the combination of genes from different animal species. This theory presented the creature's lack of resemblance to any known animal as evidence. The mainstream scientific community, however, proposed that the Montauk monster was simply the carcass of a raccoon. Due to being in the water for a long time and decomposing, the body had bloated, lost its fur, and become misshapen. Ancient alien theorists, on the other hand, claimed that the Montauk monster might be part of a long chain of creatures genetically modified by extraterrestrials that have existed since ancient times. These theorists suggest that the Earth may have served as a laboratory where aliens experimented on various life forms, pointing to the abundance of hybrid creature stories in world mythology as proof of their claims. All around the world, animals that are partly one thing and partly another are described. In ancient Greece, there is mention of Cerberus, the terrifying three-headed dog that guarded the gates to the underworld, or the centaur, which is half human and half horse. In Hindu mythology, there are the Nagas, with the lower body of a snake and the upper body of a human. In the Amur region of Siberia, the weather in a typical December was very cold, and the ground was covered in snow. A man walking his dog noticed something interesting in the snow. It was a strange creature, about 90 centimeters tall. The creature was missing one arm, its skin was dark gray, it had no fur, and its facial features were so indistinct that it was impossible to tell what it resembled. Some scientists believed that this bizarre creature could be a severely injured human. Other researchers suggest it might be a squirrel monkey. However, squirrel monkeys normally live in the warm regions of South America. It is impossible for them to be found in a cold place like Siberia. This creature found in Siberia has raised many questions due to its strange appearance. Although some people claim it could be an alien corpse, Siberia is known for its harsh climate and large unexplored areas. Therefore, it may also belong to a new animal species that the scientific community has not yet identified. This 2,000-year-old remarkable skull is one of hundreds of similar elongated skulls found in the Paracas region of Peru. This large collection of skulls was first discovered by the Peruvian archaeologist Julio Tello in the late 1920s. Mainstream scientists state that this skull bears the trace of an ancient surgery. According to them, this individual, who had a metal implant placed in their skull, could have been a Paracas warrior who survived a severe injury. This theory indicates that the ancient Peruvians were able to successfully perform trepanation surgeries thousands of years ago. The implant is considered a surgical component used to permanently repair the injured area. However, there are alternative researchers who oppose this idea. It is claimed that the smooth and complex structure of the metal exceeds the level of metal knowledge possessed by people 2,000 years ago. These researchers suggest that the metal piece could be an alien microchip tracking device or an antenna used to communicate with distant planets. The long and conical shape of the skull is accepted by proponents of this theory as the typical body structure of alien races. Swiss researcher Gregor Spurry stated that in 1988, he encountered a family of grave robbers in Egypt who showed him a 38-centimeter-long mummified finger bone. Spurry, who suggested that this finger indicated its owner was a giant being between 8 and 9 meters tall, also noted that he saw a certificate dating back to the 1960s and an X-ray photograph belonging to the finger. Spurry expressed that he made a high-priced offer to purchase the finger, but the family rejected it, stating that the artifact was a family heirloom for them. He said that when he returned years later, he learned the family had sold the finger and did not know its whereabouts. Spurry's story gained international attention when it was headlined by the German newspaper Bild in 2012. The report featured photographs taken by Spurry and presented the story as a genuine discovery. Swiss mummy expert Frank Rulli, after examining the photographs of the remains, notes that the cut bone at the base of the finger is remarkably thick-walled. This indirectly supports the assumption that this giant had an extremely large body, as seen in other large creatures such as dinosaurs, elephants, and whales. Additionally, it is noteworthy that the distinct indentation at the bottom of the bone is also found in human finger bones. According to a legend, in 1969, in a coal mine in the village of Rzavchik in Russia's Kemerovo region, a marble sarcophagus was found at a depth of about 70 meters. When the sarcophagus was opened, it was claimed that inside was a very beautiful woman, about 2 meters tall and in her 30s, lying as if asleep in a clear pink-blue liquid. Her body was so well preserved that it looked as though she had just died. The body's age was allegedly estimated to be 800 million years old. It is said that the woman was wearing a knee-length short-sleeved dress woven with transparent but patternless metallic threads. 2 more metal boxes were also found inside the sarcophagus, but what was inside them is unknown. Immediately after the discovery, helicopters and soldiers arrived at the scene. The area was cordoned off, all witnesses were removed from the site, and they were made to sign confidentiality agreements not to speak to anyone about the event. While the sarcophagus was being transported, the liquid inside was partially drained. Without the liquid, the woman's skin quickly began to darken and shrivel. Following this, the liquid was put back, and the body returned to its original state. It is claimed that the sarcophagus and the woman were taken to a research center in Moscow. Later, all traces of the sarcophagus and the body were destroyed. Mysterious mummies with 3-fingered hands and 3-fingered feet, along with remarkable facial structures and anatomies, were found in a region very close to Peru's Nazca lines, whose mystery has yet to be solved. Russian scientists traveled to Peru, took cell samples from these mummies and examined them. The examinations reportedly showed that the mummies had 46 chromosomes, like humans, but their anatomical structures were different. Professor Konstantin Korotkov from St. Petersburg National Research University stated on a Mir 24 television program that this mummy, named Maria, had 23 pairs of chromosomes, but its anatomy differed from that of humans. Professor Korotkov believes that this mummy may belong to a species that evolved thousands of years before humans and became extinct as a result of a flood or a meteorite impact. In other words, he states that this species is not human. In 2007, an event in the Metepec region of Mexico involving a hairless, tiny and unusually looking creature found by farmer Marao Lopez in a rat trap ignited discussions about the existence of extraterrestrial life. Lopez initially experienced fear and shock upon seeing this creature, which resembled no known animal. In a panic, he tried to kill it and threw it into water, but the creature survived for hours. This incident gained worldwide attention when photos of the creature were released to the media. Scientists developed various theories about the creature's identity and initiated investigations. The findings revealed that the creature had a reptilian-like skeletal structure, rootless teeth, the ability to survive underwater for extended periods, thin skin, large eyes and ears relative to its body, human-like joint structure, an extremely large brain, and DNA different from Earth's creatures. Additionally, its skin's ability to dry quickly after getting wet and its resistance to decomposition were notable. The DNA test results raised the possibility of the creature being extraterrestrial, as it showed no similarity to any living being on Earth. However, scientists stated that further testing was necessary, and it was too early to draw definitive conclusions. The event reignited discussions about the existence of extraterrestrial life and led to various theories. In the Adygeia Mountains of the Caucasus, 2 intriguing skulls, yet to be identified by the scientific world, were discovered. The most striking feature of the skulls was the unusually large 2 eye sockets and nostril, along with the absence of a lower jawbone. Additionally, the long upper jaw and forehead merged to form a 2-horned structure. Some researchers suggested these could be related to the ancient alien theory. The skulls were found in a Nazi chest bearing the Ahnenerbe stamp. The Ahnenerbe was a secret organization established by Hitler that sought Atlantis settlements in the Caucasus.